Hey guys, it's me Jacob. Welcome back to another episode of Produce and Reuse. This is episode 3. Today we're going to be looking at burritos or tacos or however you want to roll your tortilla. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. So let's get going. Okay, so the first step we're going to take is to season our meat so we can allow it to sit and marinate for a little so it'll absorb some of those flavors more. Over here I have about a pound each of chicken thigh and steak. You can use pork, you can use ground beef. You don't even have to use meat. That's just what I'm going with tonight. It's up to your imagination. So for those, we have our seasonings over here. I have them split up in 2 different containers because we have 2 different types of meat here. So these are just chili powder with a little bit extra fresh cracked pepper, a little bit extra cayenne pepper and smoked paprika. So that's what that is there. And then to those we have a lime per piece of meat. And then we're going to need some sort of oil to kind of help it get around in the bag because that's not going to be enough to marinate. So let's get started here. We're going to first roll out our limes a little so the juices get released a little easier. You can tell just by doing a couple rolls how much more squishy it already is as compared to a normal one. I don't know if you could tell on camera. But yeah, rolling out your limes and lemons or any fruit that you're trying to get juice out of is a great way to get more juice per fruit. So just roll them out a little, break down the insides so you get a little bit more juice for them. And then we're going to cut them in half. And I have a little strainer over here to help. And then we're just going to squeeze that juice into the bowls. There we go. We're going to do the same for the second one. Cut it in half. Come over here and squeeze it in. Okay, so we have our limes juiced. We're just going to add a couple tablespoons here of oil, just again to kind of help spread this around to help lubricate it. And this will also help whenever you're cooking so you don't have to oil the pan at all. So we'll have those in there. Get a spoon and just give it a quick mix. Get it all mixed up and incorporated. And then to help marinate these, I have these gallon Ziploc bags that we're going to put the meat in along with the marinade mix that we have here. Make sure that you get it coated. We're going to squeeze out some of the air, not all of it, just enough to where it's kind of vacuum packed, and then we're just going to kind of have fun with it. Squish it around some, make sure that seasoning gets all over that meat in there, and then I just like as a little bit of extra to get all of the air out now. It's like a miniature vacuum seal so that the seasoning stays up against the meat. So marinate this for at least 30 minutes. You can do overnight, you can do 3 hours, just long enough so that the marinade will kind of penetrate into the meat and help season it. So we have our chicken done. I'm going to work on our beef here, and then we'll be back for the next step. Both meats done, and into the fridge they go. So the next component that we're going to make for our burritos is cilantro lime rice. So here in front of me, I have about 1 3/4 cup of plain white rice that I'm going to take to the sink and rinse off under cold water with this strainer. So we're going to put the rice in the strainer, rinse under cold water until the water comes out basically clear. At first it's going to come out milky. That's how you know there's a lot of excess starch on this rice. But the more and more you wash it, the more and more clear it will come. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in just a second. have our washed rice. We're going to add this to the Instant Pot, along with, I don't know why I threw that away, I still need this. Along with the Instant Pot has a 1-to-1 ratio for rice. I'm going to put 1 3/4 cups of water in here. In goes the water. Get a good little mix so everyone's in the water. And then, this is why I love the Instant Pot. All I gotta do is put the lid on, turn it to rice, and hit start. I'm learning that I need to triple check whenever I hit record, because I just didn't hit record and I missed me making the seasoning for the cilantro lime rice. So it is what it is. Use your imagination. I squeezed the juice out of those 3 limes. I cut up half a bundle of cilantro and put it in here, and then I put in olive oil, and I'll have all the measurements to it right here. So now that that's made and our rice is cooking, we'll put those to the side and start getting our sides and toppings together for these burritos. So let's go. The camera didn't want to record. Before I walked away, I checked again and I made sure that it was recording. So I win this round. So let's keep going. Every burrito in my mind needs beans in them. So I just have a can of black beans here that I'm going to open up and put on the back burner back there, just to heat up, so we can add it to our so we can add it to our burrito. So we have that. I'm gonna take it back there and start heating it up. Oh, get this can out of here. That wasn't loud. So the next thing we have here are avocados. I believe avocados belong in every Mexican dish ever. You cannot tell me otherwise. If you say otherwise, you are wrong. So I'm going to get these avocados cut up. I'm just gonna do regular avocados tonight. You can make guacamole, that's your call. I just like plain avocados, so that's what we're gonna do. So the easiest way that I like to do it is you get an avocado, you get a knife, and very carefully, you cut halfway around the avocado until you get back to the original cut, and you twist it and break it open, and there's the inside of your avocado. So from there, you get a spoon, you stick it in, and you just pop it out. And now the most fun and dangerous part, lots of people get hurt during this year, please be careful, is taking out the pit. And I just get my knife, line it up, give it a good hit, twist it sideways, the pit breaks free, and then you can scrape out the rest. So I'm going to do this with the other avocado, and we'll get back to our next component. So I've kind of crushed up these avocados here. I like leaving mine chunkier than not. You can make it smooth if you'd like to, but I just prefer chunky. So to that, we're going to add some garlic powder, just a little, and then some salt and pepper. And all of this is to taste. If you don't want to add any of this, you don't have to. Why not, you know? So we're going to add all that in here. We're going to give that a mix. And then we're going to taste it to see if it is how we like. And if it is, then we're going to put it in the fridge and let it cool until we're ready to use it. So let's see here. And that's really good. Just enough seasoning that you know it's there, but not enough that it overpowers the avocado, which is how I like it. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and we're gonna move on to our next component. So the next component that I like on my burritos is onion. I like white onion because of the sharpness that it brings. It brings a little bit of vibrancy to it. I already showed y'all how to cut an onion in my marinara sauce video, but I'm going to show y'all again because I don't want to inconvenience people by making them go back and click other videos. So we're going to get our knife. It's going to be a sped up version. Get our knife, get our onion, cut it from root to tip, get a couple of the layers of the skin peeled off here, just enough so it's not dry. We're going to keep the root intact, but cut off the top. We're going to do a couple horizontal slices here. couple vertical slices. Doing our best to keep the onion intact. And then we're going to slice those off. And finish chopping up the rest. And there you go. And there are your onions. Okay, so I'm going to cut this other half up, put these in a bowl to the side, and then we're almost ready to cook our meat, and then we're gonna eat. So here we go. So our next ingredient here that we're going to make is pico, or that we're going to have is pico. I obviously didn't make pico. I'm not a big fan of pico de gallo on my burritos. If you are more than welcome to make your own. I felt like store-bought would be good enough for my application, which is for chips and dip. So if you like pico on yours, go ahead and add pico. I'm sorry if you wanted me to make some. It'll probably come in a later video. So yeah, there's pico. We have all of the toppings ready to go. We have the cheese, sour cream, avocado, beans are back on the stove. Yeah, we have the onion too. Can't forget the onion. So that we have all the toppings, let's cook our meat. It didn't bust open, it's okay. So now that our pan is heated up, we're gonna get our meat out and we're gonna put it on. I'm gonna start with the steak first because it's a little bit thicker of a cut and it'll take longer to cook. So get that on there. And I actually have room for the chicken too, so why not put those on as well, huh? Throw these bags away and go wash my hands. So we're gonna let these cook for a little while, and when they're done, we'll add the cilantro lime to our rice while they're resting, and then we'll be good to eat. Okay, so our meat is done cooking. I have wrapped it in foil here, and we're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. And while that's resting, we're going to bring our rice over, add our cilantro lime seasoning to it, and we'll be good to assemble a burrito then. So here we go. So I have the rice here in the bowl, and I know I didn't tell you this at the beginning, but I made too much rice for tonight. I made almost 2 cups for a single person. That is a whole lot of rice. That's what half of it looks like. That's what about a cup of rice looks like, cooked. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're going to use that leftover white rice for our Thursday dish, which is going to be fried rice. So we obviously need some rice for it, and it's better if you make the rice ahead of time and let it sit. So put however much half of the rice away that you need, or however much you think you're going to need, and use what you're needing tonight. And I'm saying need a lot. So we need to add our cilantro lime seasoning here. So I'm just gonna put just a couple spoonfuls in here. And we're gonna give that a good mix. And mix that around. Make sure it gets all incorporated and see how it is. So here we go. So it's really good. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to it just to spruce it up just a little bit, which is really nice. It just makes for a really nice cilantro lime rice. So I'm gonna salt and pepper this, and we'll get to making our burritos. So here we are at our final step, ready to make our burritos. So I'm gonna make 1 chicken, 1 beef. They're gonna be the exact same way. I just haven't eaten anything all day, and I'm hungry, and I feel like eating both. So why not? So I'm gonna start off with a layer of these black beans here. I'm gonna try and drain off some of the juices. But a layer of black beans at the bottom. A good amount. Next, our cilantro lime rice. One more little mix. Before we put it on. And this is going to be a chicken one, so Here come our chicken thighs. Next, some onion. Our avocado. We're getting pretty dang full here, so let's see. Let me wash my hands so I can actually get the cheese out. Just 1 second. So here comes our shredded cheese. And finally, some sour cream. I like these squeeze bottles. I think they're cool. I think they're nifty. If you haven't had one, definitely recommend trying it out. So, finally, sour cream. A good layer. And now here's the tricky part, actually rolling it up. So, you first don't want to make sure that you overloaded your burrito like it looks like I did here. Or if you did overload it, make sure that you have a big enough burrito for it. But just roll it, and while you're rolling it, tuck that other side up into it. And ooh, there you go. So there's our burrito. I'm going to take this and put it on a waiting hot pan back there just to get a good little crisp on the tortilla. And I'll do the same with this one, and then I'll show you the end results. So here are the final products, a chicken and a beef burrito that look oh so scrumptiously. I am so ready to eat them, so I'm going to keep this outro short. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a like. If you saw something that you liked or didn't like in the video, leave it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to address it. If you have something that you want to be seen made in a future video, leave it in the comments down below also, and I'll be sure to make that because I like making things. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you made this along with me. Join me later this week whenever we use the leftover rice and meat to make fried rice. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope you are too. My name is Jacob Kelling, and I hope that you have a great day.